Hey everybody, this is SWChris. I am from SWCity, and welcome back to the Thursday evening vlog. Today, we're going to talk about PlayOnCon, but first I want to give you a quick channel update. Building Zelda, you may have noticed it did not come out at the end of the month of June. Unfortunately, I had a content overload issue with the month of June in that I had PlayOnCon, and I was also planning this huge cool UHC called Release the Wither, wherein we kill a wither in UHC mode. Wow, hang on just a minute, it's a little smudgy. Okay, so hopefully that refocuses and we're good. So, but if not, hey, it's a vlog, you're here to listen to it, not watch it. So, whatever. But yeah, that took up a lot of time, and I'm sorry guys, I did not get a Building Zelda out on time. With PlayOnCon taking up the last week of June, it just was not feasible to get another episode out. So I am going to try for 2 episodes in July to make it up to you. We'll see. I have the recording for the June episode about halfway done, and then I'll start on the July episode. The weird thing is, we up here in the Pacific Northwest don't believe in air conditioning, and it is getting into the hot time of the year. And what that means is I will probably not be able to work on the really hot days. In addition to that, I have another week's vacation coming up in the 3rd week of July, so that probably cuts me down to about half the working evenings I have available to put content on this channel. So if we don't get 2 episodes in July, I'm gonna go for 2 episodes in August, just warning you ahead of time. But yeah, PlayOnCon was great. I flew into Houston, Texas to meet with Dolinmyster, and it's really funny, the first real conversation we had was about YouTube business. So you can tell we're both really interested in YouTube and getting better at the content we put on our channel. So we had that on Wednesday evening, I think, and I spent the night at his place. Then we left at about 3:45 in the morning and drove 10, weirdly enough, it ended up at about 12 hours, 11 to 12 hours, all the way to Alabama, although Google Maps says 10. I don't know. I think traffic and pit stops probably contributed to that. What else? Yeah, we made it there on time and in relatively high spirits. I'm sure we were all a little tired, but you know, that's what leaving at 3:45 in the morning does to you. We met up pretty quickly with Oviraptor and Mary, Lady Mpire, I guess is her screen name. And who else? I think we ran into Lapis Lauri pretty soon after in MNSweet. So those guys are fairly big streamers. Well, yeah, I think so. I mean, they are to me. So got to hang out with some really cool people this weekend. And so we checked into a room, hung out with them, played Cards Against Humanity. Ran into Draax LP. I didn't know who he was, and I guess he's some sort of superstar or something. Although that's what I was thinking at the time, and I'm sure he will be if he isn't already. I'm sorry, Draax. That came out really bad. He's a quality content producer who I assumed had more subs than apparently is actually the case. So that tells you something about what he's going to grow into, because I mean, if you see him and you think, well, that guy's probably pretty big, then chances are he's going to be if he isn't already. There, see, I fixed it. So we did that, and then Graphoniac and her family got there pretty late at night, somewhere around 8 or so. I don't know, I'm guessing. And she came down after getting her family situated and just kind of hung out with us and brought Rosie and little Amy, Nerd Kid 2, I guess. Maybe I shouldn't say the name. I'm going to bleep that out. You all know Rosie's name. I don't know about Nerd Kid 2's name. So that was fun. She watched us play Cards Against Humanity, and then we went over to the casino night, I think. Was that the first night? Wow, if that was. I think that was. So we went over to the casino night. I didn't have any cash on me, and because I didn't read the fact, because most people don't put any useful information in their facts. So I just skipped over it this time. Turns out there was useful information in this one. So I had like $3 to my name. Lauri gave me $1. I had $2. So I cashed in for $3 in chips, and I was able to sit down at a table with Joe Hills and Bruce Wilkers and a couple other people. And my first hand wasn't a good hand, so I sat out. Okay. Second hand, and this is a poker table. I got a Queen Jack combination, and they were both spades. Okay. Cards turn over, and you got 3 cards there. 2 of them are spades. Awesome. I'm set up perfectly for a flush. I have probably slightly less than a 1 in 4 chance of winning this, of getting a flush on this hand. Okay. So next card turns over, not a spade. Last card turns over, it's a spade. Awesome. And I have the almost the highest possible flush hand available, and all these cards, all these poker chips are flying out onto the table. They have to split the pot for me because they only have $3 in chips, and so everybody else is betting hundreds, and then, you know, 150, 200, 250. Pot gets up to like 350, and then we turn over the cards. Whammo! I beat them all, except Joe Hill's wife. Guess what she had? She had the king of spades. Beat me. Took everything I had in one hand. And then a couple hands later, it was all over. She had won, basically. So yeah, that was my highlight of the night. Also getting to shake hands with Good. He introduced himself as Jason, because I think I came up and kind of acted like I didn't know who he was. I don't know. I just said, "Hi, my name is Chris," you know. So I didn't fanboy over him or anything like that. And he kind of taught me a little bit about craps. Couldn't play because I didn't have any chips, but I learned kind of how the game works, which is great, because the next time I do play, which will probably be next year, I will come loaded with cash, and I will be playing craps. And it was really cool watching them, because they got to really kind of just break the bank, which is the first time the craps dealer had said that was the first time that had happened in his 20 years of doing it. They were just raking in the bucks. It was awesome. So Jason will probably, Good will probably tell you about that in his video, so go over there and watch that. youtube.com/GoodBoulderFist. Not that you need to know. But yeah. Then after that, kind of wandered off as things were winding down. Found Graphoniacs on the swings, on the hillside by the pool, and we got to have a nice little heart-to-heart chat. And that was cool, because I had first met her last December online. She gave her a tour of my server, and sort of unintentionally mooched off her, because I had put in $10 into the pot just so that I could, you know, really play StarCraft and get on the server with her for a fundraiser she was doing. And then I won a $30 Minecraft account. That was the first time, you know, really made a good connection with her. We had some good conversation, and I was with her. That was when she found out about her boom swing, loving DJ down by the pool, and so she's still trying to find out who Amber is and where she is on Twitter. So if you know, leave a comment, because I'd love to know. So that was the end of the first night. Second day is a little more fuzzy, not because I was drinking, just because a lot of stuff happened. I think we went to the Minecraft build competition. Dolan, who I was rooming with, brought his laptop, and he kind of went for it and built a nice little snowman. And MNSweet built an amazing kind of build with world edit and stuff, and the kids, of course, won. So that's what the event's for, of course. So the kids win, and it's really cool because, you know, you get these kids going up against these world-class builders, and honestly, you really don't need to favorite for the kids in most cases, because the kids do pretty well. They're really creative. It's really fun to watch. Played Mario Kart with Jaren and somebody else, I think, because that was in the same room. So while we were waiting for the build competition, that's what we did. And met up with Knight 97M some more. I had met him in the casino night the night before, and got to hang out more with the regular crew. We learned that Good was running for president, so we gave him all our pockmarks, which is this fake currency. The person with the most of it at the end of the weekend basically gets president for the next year. And the president gets to do some unique stuff, like set some programming and stuff like that. So that was fun. Second night was kind of normal. Third night, we had a lunch barbecue thing with Knight, except all the condiments from the night before. There was like some grilling competition the night before, and it started raining crazily. That didn't go over very well because we all had to run for shelter. So the condiments got left out, and so they got spoiled. And so the next night, when Knight had his barbecue, we didn't have any condiments. So we just kind of had hot dogs and buns, and that was it. So we did that, sweated our butts off, and went back, took a shower, came back for... No, wait. What were we still doing? Oh yeah, that was the time when we were just waiting for, basically, Graphoniac and Lapis Lauri to come down and join us. And they were busy having coffee and chatting and doing girl things and recording vlogs and stuff. And so they took like an hour and a half to get down there. And so by the time they said they were actually coming, we decided to hide behind this outbuilding that was kind of nearby and act like we weren't there anymore, okay? So we're all doing that. We're all snickering like little schoolboys, and I think there were some girls there, and making caw sounds in the woods, and Narnia jokes galore. We won't go into that, but we basically did that. I'm gonna pause here, and I will pick up recording once I get groceries in the car. I have some ice cream, and I really need to get that in the freezer before it all melts. It's a really hot day out. Be right back. Okay, we're back. Where was I? We're gonna walk around the neighborhood this time, just cause it'll probably be a little bit easier, and you get to see where I live. For now, this is temporary, but we'll see. So we were at the cookout, right? So we're all hiding behind the... Damn, I feel so weird doing this. I do. Doing that in public is so weird. We'll go for it. So we were all hiding behind the outbuilding, and basically Graph and Lapis were coming down. We were all snickering like little schoolboys. They come down. MNSweet is sitting on the bench saying nobody's around. You know, he's sitting in full view. Then... we can't contain our laughter anymore, and we just spill out into guffaws and merrymaking and all that sort of thing. So that is exactly what happened, and it was fun. It was a lot of fun. Got to meet Zueljin there, and Ruby's own, or Ruby as we call him, and they're bigger YouTubers. They have over 10,000 subs each, and my arm is getting tired. Wow. I will carry on. So got to meet them, hang with them, talk to them a little bit. Then went back, had a shower, hung out in Lauri's room. Lauri mentions, Zueljin's having this other cookout later that night, so Dolan and I decide, okay, we'll drop in on that, you know? So we do that. that evening. And I think it kind of surprised him. I'm not sure. But what we ended up doing was asking, hey, can we stay around? They said, yeah, sure, no problem. As long as, you know, you understand the people that we're doing this for get the food first, you know? So we understand. We say, yeah, we hang out, we chat. And, you know, it's back down to the fire pit again. And get to learn more about those two. And Zueljin has his family there, so we get to learn more about their family. And it's just a really fun time. Dolin's doing most of the talking. We're on a main road now. But basically, Dolan is doing most of the talking. Ovi's there, Lady Mpire's there for a little bit. The whole gang is really there kind of hanging out. And after, you know, it takes a little longer to cook, basically. He's making this wonderful jambalaya with beef and sausage links and chicken. No beef, just chicken and sausage links. And it tastes great. Have a little sip, little taste. And then it gets to be around 6 o'clock. And 6 o'clock, there's something important going on. I don't remember what, but, you know, Good and all them have to go attend it, so they can't come to the cookout, unfortunately. So we basically help Zueljin carry all the stuff up. Draax is there as well. And get to go in his room, and he invites us in. He invites us to hang out, which is really kind of cool, because I'm standing here the entire time feeling like I'm kind of imposing or something. But it turns out not to be the case. So we actually sit down, we talk in the hotel room, we get to know each other a little more. We kind of have a mini deep end conversation, which is really cool because I got to learn more about Zueljin and a little bit about his story. I won't tell it here because, you know, personal information and all that, but basically, wait for the car to go by so you can hear me. Basically, you know, our stories are kind of similar. A little bit. Not a lot. Please do not read too much into that. It's just very superficially similar. Because everybody gets kind of beat up in high school. So we talked a little bit about that. And that is when it dawned on me that he's a pretty mellow dude. I've never watched any of his videos or anything like that. But he was in full performance mode when he's in public, but he mellows out a lot. And I guess it kind of taught me that, you know, you don't have to be super gregarious, which means outgoing. You don't have to be super outgoing to really do this whole YouTube thing. And you can be older than I am and you can do this YouTube thing. So it was just further confirmation that really my self-doubts are just that. They're empty doubts. There really is no substance to them at all. So it was great. And so we traded business cards. And he seemed really impressed by mine. And let me see if I can show you one. Hang on just a minute. Let's see if I can pull one out. Okay, so here's the card. I can get it right in focus for you. That's the card. And I won't show you the back side because it has personal info on it. Pop that right there. Hopefully it's focusing on me now. And he seemed really impressed in it because the conversation immediately stopped. It stopped. Okay, we got a stoplight here, hang on. The conversation just, it immediately stopped. And he asked me how many subs I had. And I said, about 340, which is about right for the time it was. And he said, oh, that's a good number for your first year, you know, so that was good. I'd been doing YouTube for about 1.5 years, but it's been only about a year for this particular channel. He was impressed, and then he gave me tips on how to get more subscribers, and that was really cool. Really impressed. It was really kind of this kind of zoom in thing. because you focus on him and everything in the room just kind of fades away. You're kind of aware in the background that everybody around you is crowding around you to listen to these tips. You know, Ovi's there, and Dolan, and Draax, and a couple others. It was really cool. So, if you know how to get in touch with me personally, I'll talk to you about them. I'm not sure if they're supposed to be trade secrets or not. Personally, I'd rather tell you them, but I want to respect Zueljin, and I don't know if I have his permission to really talk about these openly, so unfortunately I can't. But for you YouTubers who know me, get in contact with me personally. I'll talk to you about it. And we went to whatever that thing with Good was, and then we went back to the hotel room with Zueljin and Draax and hung out there, just me and Dolan, not everybody else. Oh yeah, it was the presidential election, that's what it was. So yeah, we watched Good win the presidency. That was fun. Had a New Orleans style funeral jazz band thing parading through the streets. It's really cool. And went back to the hotel room, hung out with Zueljin and Draax again. And at this point, the feeling of being a lost puppy just following around somebody reasserted itself. But they quickly put that notion to bed. So Ruby even invited us to take part in his Day 2 recap vlog. So links down below if you want to watch that. At least it will be when it goes live. Really just made some good friends and contacts there. Final day was basically just hanging out with Graph and Ovi and Mpire and Lapis Lauri and the others. Maybe this was the same day. Everything is running together. So we had, in the interest of time, I'll just continue the story, but we hung out with them, Max, and everybody was around. I think I ran down the whole list. So, just hung out, went to the Iron Bartender event, which is awesome. Got a nice full moon of the type you typically don't want to see. I won't go into any more details. And then we just kind of took off and hung out by ourselves while everybody else partied at the pool or did drunken things or whatever. And formed some really solid friendships, I think. The core group of people who hung out with each other, plus Zueljin and Draax. And so Lapis Lauri, Oviraptor, Mpire, me, Andrew. Who can forget Andrew? King 601. Yeah, I haven't even mentioned him. I'm sorry, Andrew. Graphoniac. I apologize. There are a lot of names. I think I got y'all, though. Dolan, of course. You know, hung out in the game room, formed some really solid friendships. But Dolan had to go to bed early because he was driving home. So the rest of us stuck around. I think Draax and Zueljin ran off and did stuff. But the rest of us stuck around. Mary, I think, had to go to bed for some reason. She might have been around, I'm not sure. But what we did was we went down to the pool, watched the drunken partiers. Couldn't really see anything because it was all in shadow. But we had our own little deep end discussion. MNSweet was basically from Florida, you know, originally. Grew up in the city, never really lived out in the country. Never really saw the stars. And so he wanted to see a deep field sky. So we went out to the basketball court and laid down on its semi-damp surface because it had rained earlier. And basically just stargazed for an hour. Just talking. It was awesome. Especially getting to see Max's reaction to the sky. It was quite something to behold. We did that and then walked over to the fire pit again for the third time that day. Actually, it may have been the fourth. And did some stargazing there. Had some good conversations, good friendship time, good bonding experience. Then it was 4 in the morning, so we had to go to bed. And that was that. That was PlayOnCon. If you guys can go to that, I would say definitely go. Just, if you bring in little kids, just be warned. It gets a little wild at night. Hello, doggy. They keep it pretty separated from the hotel area, but sometimes people wander around, so you may see something if your kids are out at night. But in the daytime, it's a pretty family-friendly con. They have it at this 4-H center. It's really cool. if I can afford it, I will be there next year. Just to reconnect with these people, these awesome, wonderful people. You know, make deeper friendships with them. Make more friendships, make more contacts. It's going to be a bigger YouTuber convention next year. Primarily because Good's president. But it gets a little bigger for the Minecraft side of things every year. And eventually it's probably going to eclipse everything else that PlayOnCon is about. So there may be some tensions there coming. But we'll see. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and sign off for now. So this is SWChris. Let me know what you think in the comments, and if you were there, sound off and let me know that you saw this. So I'll see you later. Auf Wiedersehen. Arrivederci. Hasta la vista. Goodbye.